group ndio tuweze kusaidia watu wetu. The other day we had a 1 week or 10 days car sober campaign ya kila mahali kutembea, and we've seen a big change. Tunaomba utusaidie sana kwa challenges ambazo tunapitia, na chief kama ana police hakuna mahali ataenda, kama hakuna mtu wa community hakuna mahali hao wataenda, kama hakuna county government hakuna pahali tutaenda. Lazima hii kazi tushikane mikono zote, tusaidiane, tusaidie chiefs wetu, polisi wetu, pastor wetu, kina mama, ndio tuweze kumaliza. Asante sana Your Excellency kwa sababu ya kutufikiria mema kama kina mama. Nikimalizia nasema nakupongeza sana, umesema utatuwekea kongomano sisi na watu wanakanda, ndio tuelewe miraa kama ni bangi ama si bangi. Unajua the same government imeclassify miraa kama cash crop, and the same government inasema miraa ni bangi. Kwa hivyo kwa sababu utatuletea hiyo kongamano, tutaketi pamoja tuelewe ni bangi ama si bangi, ndio tujue kupata mwelekeo. Lakini sisi tunaamini hakuna mwenye mekura miraa Meru kule akaenda kwa nyumba ya mtu akakatwa sehemu fulani. Mungu awabariki sana, asante sana, utapaka unatuongoza na kusaidia.
Thank you, Governor. Honorable Naomi.
Your Excellency, our Deputy President, all the CS here, the governors here, the security team, and members of parliament who are here. Today, I must say that I'm happy to be in the midst of these great people. Your Excellency, I must congratulate you because the things that you have given attention are the things that have affected our country for the last many years. The young generation have suffered as a result of what we are discussing today. Majority of our young people are the people who cause chaos when we have special functions. That is because of the drugs they take. And women are the most affected because many are the times the women cry because of their young children. Many are the times they fundraise so that their youth or their sons can be taken to rehabilitation center. And as I say that, Your Excellency, my request is you consider Marsabit as one of the first counties to benefit from rehabilitation center. Because in that area, we border Ethiopia, and that has been greatly explained to us. As I was doing my campaigns, many women complained and said, we have lost our sons. And they told me to go to a place called No Man's Land between Kenya and Ethiopia. And a lot of our young people, the youth, are stationed there just because they are under the influence of these drugs. So, Your Excellency, we suffer from two things. Number one is the drugs, together with the illicit brew, and then we also have radicalization. And when I talk of radicalization, radicalization happens in both Christianity and Islam. So we need a rehabilitation center where our young people can be rehabilitated. And as they are rehabilitated, then we must think of a program where they can start their own small businesses and get to a life that can improve their lives and start their own families. Today, many of them are hopeless. They cannot even own a border. They cannot even be borders. They are destroyed. And again, as a result of that, as our CS Health said, a lot of them are also infected by the STDs and HIV/AIDS. And that is why the age that is mostly affected is between 15 and 25 or 27. So we cannot afford to lose our young people. I also want to congratulate your wife, Pastor, because she has given a lot of attention to a boy child. They have lost role models because parents are not home, fathers are not with their children, and they are not with their sons. The attention that she has given to boy child will save many young people, and we will have a better generation that will take over from us. So, Your Excellency, I'm happy to be here, and I'm glad that Marsabit is well represented. And together with our officers here, I hope no politician will influence you to do the wrong thing. In Kenya Kwanza, we advocate for the right thing to be done at the right time, and we will not condone even politicians to misappropriate or misuse any officer and also bring problems to the ground. Your Excellency, the issue of lack of peace in Marsabit has been a real issue. And even in that, the drug and illicit brew has always had a big part of it, because when someone has a gun and they are under that influence, the next thing they will do is just to go and finish somebody and take away an innocent soul. So we need a lot of attention. We are ready to partner with you so that we can have a better tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Naomi. So as we listen to the Deputy Registrar of the Chuka High Court, I hope there is a microphone somewhere. Why is the Deputy Registrar? Okay, just speak from there. Next will be the CCIO for Embu County. That's from the DCI office. I know there's a lot of concern in terms of the delays that we experience when matters go to the court. So you'd want to speak to that and how we can improve on things. Thank you. You come in front.
Your Excellency, Deputy President, Cabinet Secretaries present, all governors present, members of Parliament, and all invited guests and distinguished guests, good afternoon. Yeah, my name is Herbert Mwendwa. I'm the Deputy Registrar, Chuka High Court. I'm here on behalf of the presiding judge, Chuka, and I would like to talk about the issues that we are discussing today on the issue of drugs. It's a big problem because it affects us personally, whether you are a judicial officer or whether you are a member of public. However, when it comes to issues of prevalent issues that come to court, in our court here at Chuka, there are a lot of bank-related crimes and illicit brew, which we deal. Normally, for our part, when those exhibits come to court, we normally ask for distraction after we've done the sentences. Sentences are basically, okay, first conviction is based on the evidence that has been presented before court, and where there's evidence, always we convict. And when it comes to sentences, it varies depending on the nature of crime that has been placed before court. But basically, we follow the sentencing policy that we have in the judiciary. However, we've noted the concerns that have been raised here. We've listened. We will continue to listen, and we are going to act accordingly, because we do not live in a vacuum, and what happens in the society affects us all. That's all that I had to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Registrar. I think we've taken note of your processes, but you've also, I hope you've taken note of the concerns that we have from those who are charged with enforcement. The CCIO Embu County, could you come in front? Next should be the DCC from Tigania Central, Mr. Patrick Meso. Where are we? Come in front so that we save on time. Huh? Where is the CCIO, Embu County? Take the mic so that you can sit there.
The Deputy President, all protocols observed. My name is Mr. James Gedenji, the County DCI Officer, Embu. First of all, I would wish to appreciate the Chief Guest, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, because after we went to Nyeri, the statistics of how enforcement on anti-illicit brew has been done indicates that there is an effect which is being felt on the ground. When you look at the statistics on enforcement, the statistics have gone high. That is, we've been able to charge more people in court. We've been able to get more drugs have been seized. Also, the same statistics indicate that offenses against person, like for example, creating disturbance, has gone down because more people have been arrested. Also, offenses against person, like murder, assault, they've also gone down because of this enforcement action which has been taken. Now, the few challenges that we are facing, Your Excellency, is one, we need to have a multi-agency approach in the fight. The multi-agency approach is nice, but we need to firm it up. Like, for example, when you talk to most OCSs, when you talk to most DCIOs, they're telling me that we have serious challenges registering charge sheets. Now, if you have a serious challenge registering a charge sheet, then it means that even if you've arrested somebody, he knows that there'll be issues before the charge sheet can be registered. Now, that makes them to be demoralized. Then in regards to the multi-agency approach, we need to think even outside the box. Because when we are carrying out enforcement, when you are carrying out enforcement against this menace, we are forgetting to carry along the public health officers. We are forgetting to carry along the probation officers who can really tell us whether this person we are saying, this person who is always brewing, always selling alcohol, is he really needy? Is he or she really needy? Or this is just a commercial enterprise? Then on the way forward, Your Excellency, we promise, we undertake to make sure that we'll support, we'll make sure that we'll fight to the end to make sure that we are successful. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Your Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, na itifaki zote zikizingatiwa na kuheshimiwa. Kwa majina naitwa Patrick Meso, DCC Tigania Central. Kwa niaba ya wenzangu ambao wako hapa, ningependa kusema ya kwamba tuko tayari kwenda kupigana na hivi vita. Tumekuwa tukipigana navyo na bado hatujachoka. Tutaenda kufanya kazi na kuongeza zaidi juhudi zetu ili tuhakikishe ya kwamba yale yote mmetupatia hapa tunaenda kuyatimiza. Tunashukuru sana kwa mkutano huu, kwani umetupa motisha, umetupa nguvu, na sasa hakuna mtu yote tutaogopa kupigana na vita hivi. Tumekuwa tukipitia changamoto, lakini niko na uhakika vile umesimama nasi na vile viongozi wetu wamejitokeza kusimama nasi, tutaenda kushinda vita hivi. Tumepitia visa na changamoto kama za kushtakiwa kibinafsi. Tumekuwa na machifu wengine ambao hata wamestakiwa kibinafsi, na wakati mwingi wamewekelewa makosa, sio ati wametenda mambo hayo, lakini wanaenda kufanya raid, unakuta wanabandikwa maneno, sijui wamejaribu kurep, sijui wamepiga mtu anajikatakata mwenyewe, na mwisho unakuta assistant chief amepelekwa kotini, amestakiwa. Na kwa makosa ya kuwekelewa, na saa ingine ofisi yetu mtu akishafikishwa kotini unakuta anapewa interdiction, ama saa ingine wakifikishwa kotini hawapewi msaada ile tunaita legal aid. Anakuwa ni yeye mwenyewe anajisimamia kivyake, atafute advocate wake, na hii sana sana inavunja sana moyo maofisa wetu wale wako grassroots kama assistant chief na machifu. Kwa hivyo tunaomba hata ofisi zetu, wakati tunawaeleza kwamba labda kuna msukumo fulani ambao unaingilia kazi zetu, mtusikize na mtusaidie, kwa sababu kuna hiyo pressure. Na ninasema asante sana kwa mkutano huu, na tuendelee kukutana zaidi na zaidi. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Thank you, DCC. So I would want to request the Acting Commissioner General for KRA to also make a few comments. As she comes, the Honorable Rindikiri, get ready. And welcome the Senator for Embu. Karibu.
Your Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, CSs present, PSs, senators, all leaders, both in government, clergy, and in government institutions, good afternoon. Your Excellency, I think a lot has been said on this subject, and quite a bit even that which touches on the KRA and our role in this whole fight against this menace. The CS also, CS Korea raised quite a bit of it, and all this, Your Excellency, I think starts and stops with the issue of ethanol. This is a conversation, again, we have had, where we have had discussions on what can we do to kill the incentive that then triggers the second generation alcohol. I have shared in previous meetings, Your Excellency, about on the cost of ethanol, excise on ethanol in Kenya, which goes for about 346 shillings per litre. Our neighbors, Uganda, it is in the range of 79 shillings. Our neighbors on the other side, Tanzania, it goes for 0 shillings. That then triggers the need, the incentive, and creates a market in Kenya, because then it would come through our porous borders and generate all this alcohol that we find in the market. Earlier, Your Excellency, it had also been shared that we have legally licensed manufacturers. But then again, in some instances, they subcontract some manufacturers, and even worse, some of them run parallel manufacturing concerns. Your Excellency, in the last meeting we had with you in Nakuru, we made a commitment to review licenses of these manufacturers. And out of about 62 of them, Your Excellency, we have found that about 37 are non-compliant. And what we have done, we have sent out warning shots to withdraw their licenses unless something is done, and done very urgently. We thank you for your support, Your Excellency, because we said once we start this exercise, you will hear the noise. But we truly appreciate your commitment of walking this journey, and also the CS Interior for walking this journey with us. So that is what we will do. Secondly, we are working also together with our parent ministry, Treasury, to see what then we can do to kill the incentive of the pricing of illicit ethanol. That said, Your Excellency, our call and our plea to all the agencies that work together with us is for us to speak the same language. You have actually stated it rightly, and even the CS said that, and even our officers have mentioned things around big threats coming from certain offices, Your Excellency. As recent as last week, I was called and I was told that there are trucks that have come through a certain border point and they were being escorted by our security agencies at the front and at the back. And we also got information that our officers who are also trying to
impound or follow this illicit, their phones were being tracked and attacked. So this does not say that as care, and as you've mentioned, even around the borders, that even as we are free of officers then who action should be taken upon, but just my plea, Your Excellency, that we speak the same language, that once this journey begins, then some of us should not be sending information ahead of what then it needs to be done. So I think largely, Your Excellency, that is it. And we continue to commit to this very good cause. We will do our bit. We have also stated before that increasing taxes does not necessarily deal or curb this problem, but also through the CS and the PS would request that as we are looking at these issues of the porous borders and how to manage this, probably through the border management committee, some of these issues can be tabled there and formally addressed there, even as we are engaging as a multi-agencies. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Thank you, Commissioner. There are issues there that we need to deal with. Actually, what she's talking about is a case we are dealing with the border with Uganda. And it's being handled. Karibu.
Thank you, Dr. Ali, our Deputy President, our CS, who are here, our protocol observed, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am part of this war against drug and alcohol abuse. Your Excellency, you know, I came dressed casually because I was told I'm coming to fight alcoholism and drug abuse. Ndio umeona boss sijabatai. Kwa hivyo naomba unisamee kwa sababu nini nikuja kwa vita na nilikuwa nimejitayarisha. Your Excellency, I'm on record and I'm happy my DEC is here, County Commissioner. We have our two sub-county DCCs and ACCs. You cannot call yourself a worthy leader when you are leading a community of drunkards and drug abuse. Your Excellency, all these members of parliament, we are no longer going to be associated with the drunkards. We want to be associated with successful people. Personally, I've realized I am a good person because of good people. But I realize the bad people are always accepted in churches and the police station. Na mimi sitaki kwenda njia hiyo kama member of parliament. So I want to be associated with a clean community. I want to be associated with the people who are hardworking. I want to be associated as a member of parliament with the people who have the future. I want to be associated as a person who will leave something for the future of the nation. So as members of parliament, we join this war. Your Excellency, Timau has been quoted as one of the largest plantations of Bangi. The security organs here, they know, they are here. My Timau is the home of one of the Mungiki leaders. He has a home in my constituency, in Onterere. And we all know that. I actually want to force so that he can go and record a statement. And the juicy mmemwona pale Nakuru. He has a home in my constituency. And I'm sure part of those plantations you are hearing, if I'm not wrong, they have that connection. Your Excellency, Timau is from Isiolo is Timau. And now we have put another road, courtesy of you and the president, called Luili Isiolo Road. You know we were together when that road was being done. Now it has two routes. From Isiolo, it comes to Timau. Personally, I put up 5 police stations because I know our police organs, they need transport. I know they need to intercept. And that's why I'm so happy with our CS Interior, that he has agreed that we have one of the biggest control unit hapo Kadhare. So we are waiting. So what am I saying? We want to be also involved. This called multi-agency. Sijui members of parliament wataingilia wapi. Kwa sababu gavana wetu ameongea amesema tutafanya wote, sijasikia akisema members of parliament. Hata sisi tuwenkeni hapo, when you are dealing with this issue of alcoholism, call the members of parliament. Actually, we are the people with a lot of data. If you want to know the people with the data of who is who, ongea na members of parliament, ongea na senators, na MCA. Your Excellency, you'll get a lot of information. You know, I think I went to school kidogo. I would dispute some of the data that was presented by Nakanda. There's you can tell me cut at 9.6% and alcohol 9.3%. When I know I spend about 200,000 shillings on Imbario support program of youth and old men dying every day. I think Nakanda people also consult us. We will give you more information so that we can work together. Your Excellency, I haven't seen somebody from the forestry department. Those forests, even in my service, we have KFS. They need not to be here because part of this bangi is coming through the forest. Part of this AUKOS is also coming through the forest. For example, we have a connection between North Imenti and the Central Imenti. And that's one of the conduits. So I'm asking fellow members of parliament, we are not going to fight for any illicit businessman. I am lady, I was not born in parliament. But what I know, I have a moral responsibility of saving another person's kid. When my children are okay, and my other neighbors' children are not okay, then I'm not worthy to be called a member of parliament. So, Your Excellency, our CS, we are in this together, and I would wish that the members of parliament, when the issues of AUKA is being discussed, we are all involved, and we shall support, which we are all already we are doing, either as individuals or as leaders. We are ready to put money for support program. I am ready because I know what it has done to my family, personally. So, because of this family effect, I've seen it. Death, mtu anakuwa kabuti, tuko now. What other people are we supposed to protect? So as leaders, this calls now for a hard decision. And I don't think there is any member of parliament who is here who is ready to continue with the drunkards, who are over like 50% of the community that we are reading. So good people, I will also challenge the ministry. Whenever we bring some people, we have no malice. I have no interest of having a chief or OCS being transferred or fired. I have no interest. But when I know there is an issue, when we come and bring this information freely, if a chief has been interdicted and the file is showing everything, as Rudishwa from end office. The DCC, they are left to answer questions. The CC, they are left to answer questions because the letters are coming from above. Let's not try to go that route again. We used to hear calls from above. Sasa, almost, because I have 2 cases from above, people who are even known to be involved in that sector. The other one, Your Excellency, is you try as much as possible. We have a counseling continuation program as we wait for implementation of all these programs. And some of us are ready to do that. We are ready to do that. Let me also challenge the DC and the CC, all of them, even the county. Let's continue to go to the talking to these people. You know, we are talking about the youth, but we are not engaging them. That's a mistake that we are going to do. This is a battle that needs to be fought from different directions. We need to commit ourselves. Members of parliament can easily gather youth. Party will easily gather youth. Dr. Mutunga will easily gather youth. If you avoid these meetings of members of parliament as a governor or as a CC or a DC, you are leaving a very serious support program. Members of Parliament, we are able to gather people and listen with them. Asanteni sana. Tuko area. Please, if you notice, I'm a very, very smart person. So next time I'll come in a tie. But when we are fighting our war, we don't put ties. Thank you, Your Excellency. Asante sana.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. You know, as an elder struggling.
Your Excellency, nataka watu tukitoka hapa nitaimbisha ile wimbo kwa wainga hatutarudi. Kwa shetani hatutarudi. Tuna sasa kwenda mbele. Tukimaliza tukiangalia on the resolution uniite. Asante sana.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. The Honorable Susan, and we are coming to the end. I only have room to take 2 more. So we'll do Embu and then the county commander for Meru.
Okay, thank you. Your Excellency, the Deputy President and all the leaders present, my name is Susan Umareb, Tharaka Nithi County. And I want to say that today I'm a very, very happy woman, a very, very happy Linda, because my workload has been reduced. Your Excellency, hiki tumekuja sambamba na ile ingine ya majani na kahawa na ndengu. One time, Your Excellency, I was locked in these chuka cells. Kuna mambo ilikuwa inaendelea, nikashikwa nikafungiwa hapa, nikafungiwa na wamama watatu, brewers. One from Shera, another 2 others from Kambandi. They told me so many things. One of the things they told me was that they are doing this thing because they have nothing else to do. I know that Your Excellency have come with this economic empowerment on our farm produce. Now our women and youth will have something to do. Your Excellency, 2 months ago, here in Tharaka Nithi we've been told about industries. Down in Tharaka we have what you are calling the Guzo, the Ndume, and the Pweza, the Ungas, that they say that they are used for livestock feeds, which is not true. 2 months ago, I think the SEC1 and the chiefs went and arrested all those people and they took the products, but after 3 days, they were told to return to the owners. So the issue of what has been discussed here, that we are going to close our sources, that is the resolution number 1. Mahali ambapo hizi vitu zinatoka, sukari, nguru na maunga na kila kitu zifungwe. Number 2, Your Excellency, strengthening the area managers. One time as we were moving around, as politicians, tukipata walevi, wakikuomba wambaie mapombe na wambaie saa ingine. So one time in Tharaka where there are so many seasonal rivers, wakaniambia kuna pombe hapa. Nikauliza iko wapi? Iko wapi? Walichumbua mchanga, wakatoa mitungi. Sometimes the chiefs may not know where these mitungis are, but the area managers will know. But when the area managers know and they've nothing to lose, they've not stipends, they are not empowered, they will not inform anyone. Kindly, Your Excellency, these area managers are overworking. They are the immediate informers of what is happening in the villages. So let them be empowered so they can help the assistant chiefs, and then even my brother, the CS, will have easier work. Your Excellency, me as a mother county, I wished and have thought of partnering with my governor here. I started with him immediately after I was elected. I told him I have an idea of starting up a rehab center, or what I don't have is a staffing and the land. Your Excellency, you know, we've already written a letter. We need some land at Kadwana. Personally, I use the GAF money to put up a rehab center. He said he's going to staff it and finally hand over to him for management. And then finally, the psychiatric centers, this goes to the CS Health. I'm currently rehabilitating a young man who has hallucinations, delusions, and everything. Sometimes when I take him to Meru level 5, there are no drugs. I personally buy for him. What if I was not there for this young man? So kindly, even before we wait for the rehab centers, the psychiatric units in the level 4 and level 5s and even the other centers, let them be strengthened, let them have the psychiatric nurses, the psychiatric doctors, and the medication that is supposed to be given to them. And finally, Your Excellency, and kindly let me not be crucified of what I'm going to say next. Nimetumatumwa na watu wa Tharaka Nithi. And personally, I don't take alcohol. I'm also praying for a very, very sober society. Lakini wakaniuliza, jameni, sisi kuwa tuna asali yetu. Na tuko na mawele yetu. Tuko na soga ambayo inaitwa gadamu. hizi vitu zote zinatengeneza pombe ambayo sio poisonous. Kaniza wakati ile pombe mzuri na kubaliwa, sisi watu wa Tharaka Nithi sana sana uko Tharaka, tunaweza kubaliwa asali yetu na mawele yetu, itengeneze pombe mzuri ambayo sio poisonous, ambayo saa ingine iko na afya mzuri, iweze kusaidia vijana. That's some food for thought. Nisisurubisho sababu ya hii, mimi nimetumwa na nimeuliza swali. Asante na Mungu awabariki.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. Embu. So the Meru County Commander, you come close.
Thank you, Your Excellency, the Deputy President, and all protocols observed. I'll touch on a few bases and areas that have not been explored in this congregation. And I will start with the issue of illicit brews and drugs in our schools. And even as we go through this conference, how can we partner with the head of schools, the principals, and the other head teachers, so that we can also take this conference to our schools? Or alternatively, we can have another conference with the head teachers and the principals. Because between you and me, we know we have a lot of drugs in our schools, both the boys and the girls' schools. So, Your Excellency, I would request that you can also convene another conference so that we can talk to the head teachers and the principals, because we still have drugs in our schools. And in that conference, you will realize, Your Excellency, that our pupils, our children in schools, they have a way of getting drugs in their schools. For example, the water they take, they mix with something. The sodas and the juices, the beverages containers that they have. At one point when I worked with Nakanda privately, although I was working in a media house then, some of these things we did and we carried in our schools, in different schools, and you realize that the container, for example, that has bluebird, you'd think it has bluebird all the way from the bottom to the top. But as you dig deeper, you will realize that below the surface, the drugs are there for our students. When they go for the midterms and the other festive seasons, and they mix up with the other school going children, you will realize that sodas they take is endless. They are keeping the containers in their pockets throughout, and you think they are not quenching their thirsts. The mixtures that they put in those bottles than drugs. So I am requesting kindly, Your Excellency, that we also conduct another conference and we incorporate the principals and the head of schools so that we can also talk to them on issues, drugs in our secondary schools and in our colleges. The other issue, Your Excellency, I would wish to bring to this attention in this conference is about the people also who traffic drugs. And they are innocent traffickers. For example, in the urban centers, you will always see a mother carrying a baby throughout in a certain stage. And that baby is throughout on her back. And there's nothing she's doing other than selling drugs. She's the highest trafficker. Number two, you will realize these guys who sell puppies, tumbwa tudogo, tujibwa. They will always have that puppy and it is never sold. But for those people who know him or who know them, we always know this is our identity. This is the person who sells drugs. So wako kaumbo akauzwi kanazunguka tu hapo na mwenyewe. Your Excellency, I am asking kindly that you dig deeper into the traffickers of our drugs. Another issue, as we traffic the drugs and as we cut down all these things, our ambulances. The vehicles that we trust very much that they are here to take our issues and our urgent issues and matters health. I would wish, Your Excellency, and our CS here, Mheshimiwa Kithure Kindiki, also to start cracking down the ambulances. They are the most innocent drug traffickers. I'm just giving you a tip, Your Excellency. The other tip I want to give you, Your Excellency, is about the hearses. Zile magari zinapepa maiti. You would think they are carrying a dead body in those hearses. Do a few crackdowns, you will realize that in those hearses, in the coffins, kuna bangi, kuna dawa za kulevya. This war is harsher than we thought. It is deeply rooted than we can think. Your Excellency, as I finish, want to bring to your attention that the commonly used drugs have their coded language. So the consumers have their people on how they code their language so that our officers may not know what they are talking about. For example, bangi inaitwa stone, inaitwa marijuana, inaitwa Mary Jane, na ni bangi tu, inaitwa shashamane. Heroin inaitwa brown sugar ama glucose. Kwa hivyo utasikia kijana akisema nisaidie na brown sugar, unadhania ni sukari ya kupika chai. Those are part of the drugs that we are talking about. And about our mirror traders, the ones who come to buy our mirrors and our mogoka, Your Excellency. The entry of our hand drugs in our mogoka mirror growing areas are brought in by those coming to buy our mogoka and our mirror. So what they do, they exchange the hand drugs with our mogoka and our mirror. Our security agencies do your investigations, and I am as right as I speak. Ya mwisho kabisa, Your Excellency, we know that we have the legal alcohol and the illegal alcohol. But I want to tell this congregation, doesn't matter. Whether it is licensed or not licensed, the result is the same. Only that the illicit brew is an instant killer. Because you can just take it and lose your eyes, lose your sight, or even die. But for the other one, if you choose to take it, it's a slow puncher. It will kill you slowly. Why? Because alcohol is the highly consumed drug with over 60%. Na ninamalizia sasa. Ya mwisho kabisa ile ya mwisho. Your Excellency. Ndio nikae chini. I want to bring to your attention about the illicit brew, and it will shock you, Your Excellency, and CS Interior. The illicit brews that we are talking about, Mama Candy, and another one in Embu that was being brewed by somebody called Rambo, who I fought with very vigorously when I was working in a radio station, and he was arrested and stopped brewing, but he's now back again in the system. People who are here and you consume the illicit brews of that nature from Mama Candy, believe you me why you are not found at home. Ikipikwa, inawekwa rotten eggs, mayai ya vioza. Hiyo pombe, and I'm sorry to say this, Your Excellency, with the grown-ups here, but because you started it, I will also say it, that they used sanitary pads in those brews. In those brews. They put the sanitary pads that are used. They use Sisal in those concoctions. And lastly, Your Excellency, with all humility and with a lot of shame from my mother, Mama County, Embu County, those brewers, the Mama Candy and the others I'm talking about, they use dirty, old, used innerwears for women. And they put in the concoction, they put rats. Rats, dead rats. I'm telling you this for a fact. So that, ukienda kukunywa hapo, Your Excellency, na najua ukunywi na mimi hata mimi sijawahi kunywa, you always be rotating there. Inakufunga tu. that concussion. Unaenda kuchotewa tu unaona karati kamechomoka, kasuruari kamama kamechomoka, mayadioza yamechomoka, sanitary pad imetumika. It is quite embarrassing. Why am I saying so all this, Your Excellency? That we are ready, and I'm ready to take the task. I am ready, Your Excellency, and the CS, to be the ambassador in Embu County to fight against the illicit brews tukishikana na Nakada. I am ready to bear the cost. Thank you very much.
Thank you. As the county commander comes, the OCS for Lari Police Station, and lastly would be the ACC for Embu, Madam Elizabeth Ngesa.
Your Excellency, the Deputy President, all my name is Sir Suyanka Cunningham, the County Police Commander, Meru County. Sir, I would like to start by saying that people might think that the issues of alcohol and substance abuse ni kwa raia peke yake. We come from the same society. We are being raised in the same society. We are living in the same society. I can say this without fear of any contradiction. As commanders, we are also affected. In Meru County, I can boast of maybe having 2,000 officers. But the fact is, ile tunasema gari inaweza guruma, ikipigwa start, maybe it's only 1,500. The rest, so, in as much as ourselves we are fighting against this, we will also be benefiting because we are victims. Tuko na machekere kwa stations. I would like to challenge my colleagues. Tuanze kwetu nyumbani. Mtu huanza kujiosha yeye mwenyewe ndivyo aende akaoshe mwenzake. Let's clean our houses as commanders. We can do this by intelligence-led operations. Let's desist from what we call traditional ways of doing operations in illicit brew. Let's use modern technology like a laser-guided missile, where it will hit to the point. Si kuingia kwa Land Cruiser tu na kwa operation, mnarudi na lita 2 ya chang'aa. Officers ni 10. Cruiser imetumia mafuta lita 20. We'll use, we call intelligence-led operations, where we will go and hit where it hurts of the brewers and the manufacturers. I would like to request the concerned agencies, they equip the police in terms of technology, because these people who are used the brewing, not really brewing, selling of counterfeit and illicit brews. They themselves use technology. Ila kifuniko anaweka pale na the original one, you cannot differentiate as a layman. Let the police stations be equipped with ways of knowing hii ni counterfeit, this is not counterfeit. Because to a layman, sisi tukiwa layman, because we are not technicals in those areas, OCS akienda operation, anaweza angalia ajue this is counterfeit, this is not counterfeit. Because according to intelligence and according to information, what is really killing our people is the counterfeit drinks. Itu pombe mbaya mbaya ya kutengenezewa Githurai na Kiamaiko. Hiyo ndio mbaya pombe ambayo inamaliza watu wetu. Sir, because of time, I can assure you that we will be accountable as commanders. Let's bite the bullet. Pana kujificha huko chini chini, sijui watu yangu. Commanders, let's bite the bullet. Kama ofisa yako ni mbaya, take responsibilities. Me, I'm ready to do that. Unaanza kupiga teke ile ambayo inasumbua wewe. And I'm very sure our regional commander, ukimwandikia tu karipoti kidogo tu, officer fulani, OCS fulani, amefanya, I am definitely sure he will take action. So, sir, with those few remarks, taki kuchukua muda mwingi, I had a lot to say, but because of time, we are in. Tuko ndani kwa hii vita, na I pray that with the time, ukuje scoreboard. Tumefanya nini? Where our gains? And we will tell you tumefanya hii. And then you will tell us hatujafanya hii. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Council Commander. OCS Solare and the ACC Embu. Be on standby.
Thank you. His Excellency, Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, ECS present, governors, also recognizing my governor, Marsabit County here. Thank you, sir, for starting this initiative. You have started the right battle, and this is the only way to go. Because as an OCS, on behalf of my fellow colleagues, the challenges we are facing is hard. To start with, you do your own operation, waking up officers at 10, you go for an operation, you arrest, but at the end, the case is thrown. You see, that things, the officers is being demoralized. You can arrest illicit brewer over 800 liters, but the leniency of the judiciary is too low. She will be released on 10,000 bond, and tomorrow she'll continue with the same job. On the other side, I also appeal to all members of National Assembly. Please just visit your nearest police station. Because if we want to fight crime, and we want to save our children from these vices, there is 3 types of prisoners: male prisoner, female prisoner, and juvenile. Most of the stations within this area, there is no juvenile prisoner. At the end, we have nowhere to take them, only to give them the free bond if they can attend the court, but none of them will appear in court. So please, that's my appeal. You just visit your nearest police station, and if possible, do something. The other problem we are facing is intimidation from the political side. Unaambiwa umeshika hiyo mama ngoja kesho, unajua mali nitakakuma, utaenda hapo. Utakuta most of the OCSs are working under intimidation and fear. So in such cases, with the backup of our Deputy President, kuanzia sai kazi tutaanza. Now I promise you, all officers are very much ready to work with your backup, and issues of transfers, you have already reassured them, kazi tutaanza sir. I wish you the best. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Bwana OCS. Madam Elizabeth.
The Deputy President of Kenya, and all protocols observed. Good afternoon. My name is Elizabeth Ngesa, Assistant County Commissioner at Embu. And sir, Your Excellency, I wish to pass my gratitude for the support that you've showed together with the Cabinet Secretary on the fight against illicit brew. And I would just like to highlight some of the problems that we as Ngaos experience in our line of duties. And first of all, I wish to highlight on the issue of licensing of alcohol outlets, whereby Your Excellency, you'll be surprised that in a very small shopping center, we have more alcohol outlets than shops. And these maybe could be because of the non-functioning of the liquor licensing committees at the county government. Your Excellency, also, I would also to highlight on the prosecutorial challenges, where on several occasions, exhibits that we get for the second generation liquor have to be taken to the government chemists. We all understand that these chemists are few. We also experience delays from the government chemists. And also, this becomes a major big drawback on the fight against illicit brew. Your Excellency, as I conclude, I wish to reaffirm our commitment as Ngaos in fighting illicit brew and second liquor generation. And I also appreciate your efforts. And we believe that as Ngaos, that a win for Ngaos is a win for the whole country and Kenyans. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Now, I want to, in a very special way, appreciate each and every one of you for the marvelous contributions and engagement that we've had the whole morning, leading. I want you to give yourself a round of applause just to appreciate yourself. Again, in a special way, allow me to invite the host governor just to give his vote of thanks, and thereafter invite His Excellency the Deputy President.
Thank you very much, our very able PS, for conducting a very fruitful session and in a very organized way. Your Excellency, allow me to mention that we had a few deliberations we had put together as the counties. Most of them have been mentioned, but allow me to mention one or two that have not been deliberated on upon here. The first one is that with all this enforcement, the agencies that usually help us in identifying what is illicit, what is illegitimate, what is legitimate, all of them, most of them are located in Nairobi. And therefore, when you send a sample, sometimes it comes outdated. We would appeal that we have a government lab or chemists in the region, so that makes it easier for us to be able to take samples, so that as we go through prosecution, then we have made the right decision. Secondly, Your Excellency, you heard that there are some enforcement officers who normally find themselves lonely after conducting official duties. Case in point, we have a chief who is now in prison in Kadwana. He got 14 years. I can assure you, Your Excellency, this chief did not find themselves in the wrong side because they were doing the wrong thing. When you're working or you are carrying out your official duty and you're in the wrong, the state normally gives the state council to appear for you. So when the chief found himself the wrong side, you can imagine the capacity of a chief to be able to hire themselves a lawyer to defend themselves on a case when they're on official duty. So we need to have a legal framework to be able to protect our officers who find themselves on that side, so they can be presented in court. And I'm sure if that chief had good lawyer to represent them in court, today he would not be there. But we've been talking, and I'm glad to hear from your office, the Office of Interior, that you will be able to help with the appeal for that, so that we can be able to see what you can be able to help. Lastly, Your Excellency, allow me to say, with a lot of humility and respect, the weakest link in this fight against illicit brew, from my observation and experience of the governors, is the judiciary, at least from our point. I have listened to the judicial officer, who is a deputy, speak, and I was not very convinced. We would have done something better than that. We are at a point where we find ourselves at a loss. At the moment, Tharaka Nithi County, we had applications of 1,400. When we asked for inspection, we got 997, out of which we have licensed 470. So about 60% are not licensed. We expect them to go to court. And I can tell you, Your Excellency, if they follow the same route they have followed all the other years, we'll find ourselves back in the same position, because what normally happens is that the brewers and those who sell illicit brew are normally given orders ex parte. There's nothing very hard about calling, you said it very well, Your Excellency, that you should not be condemned and hard. Why should the judiciary give ex parte orders to brewers without listening to the other party, which is the county government or the government? And that is how you find yourself in that situation where we're always moving around. And allow me lastly, Your Excellency, as I give vote of thanks, to give you a very simple story of what happened here about 3 or 4 years ago. That time, our CS was a senator, I was a governor. It happened in this constituency, so the member of parliament was Patrick Monene. And through that order from the president, we were told, go and inspect, as legislators, go inspect the brewers. And we went to one brewing den here. And at first, the DCC that time, and I don't want to say who it was very reluctant to move. We were a bit stuck. Our county commissioner was the secretary now to the interior, Beaver Opora. She's here. She can bear me witness. He's a very good officer. So when we got there, eventually, because the DCC agreed, and the brewer does not have a distinct home separate from the brewer itself. So the home is also the brewing. So we went and we were welcomed by the children because they were there at home. And one of the kids just hugged the DCC and said, "Uncle, umekuja tena." It was very interesting. And the PS was also there. So we were found at a loss. But I can tell you, even after that, that brewer operated for 7 years with a court order because he was our expert. We do not want to go that route again. We would like to have a conversation between the judiciary and ourselves. We are not interfering with your independence, but at least let us read from the same script so that we can be able to slay this dragon as early as now so that we can save our people. I have been given the simple task of saying thank you, or rather to give the vote of thanks. And because these are officers, and you know that everybody here is a senior member of this society, I may not be able to mention one by one. Allow me also only to say thank you to God, say thank you to the Deputy President and his team, and then say thank you to all of you for finding time to come and be with us in this occasion. It is now my singular pleasure to invite the Deputy President to come and close this occasion. Welcome, Your Excellency.
Thank you. Please be seated. Thank you, Governor. But the order was also arrived at. Maybe it was another cousin. Let me briefly just respond to a few issues, and then we close so that we can be able to move on to go and work. It's true. The DCI officer has talked about the challenges in registration of charge sheets and other prosecutorial challenges. When we had that problem in central Kenya, we called a meeting for the court users. We called the DPP, the investigators, and I'm told things are going on very well. I want to encourage the commanders and the commissioner. We have the court users forum. I think convene those meetings for the court users and have a candid discussion. On our side, my office, under Executive Order number 1 of 2023 by President William Ruto, my office was tasked with the function of coordinating constitutional commissions and independent offices. Among those people is the IG, is the DPP, and the Chief Justice. Monday, coming the other week, I have a meeting with all the heads of the constitutional commissions and independent offices to raise all the issues that are cross-cutting without encroaching on the independence of the respective commissions and independent offices. Those issues you have raised here, they were raised in Rift Valley, they were raised in Central Kenya, and hence they are real. There's a challenge in the judiciary. We'll face the Chief Justice on the face and raise those issues with her because she's a mother, she's a Kenyan, and all is not well. We will not be encroaching on the independence. We'll be just doing what we have been asked to do, where there are complaints from the IG to the Chief Justice, to the DPP, and all that circle of people in the criminal justice system. It is the role of my office to raise those issues. The Chief Justice is a responsible person. She comes from this region, and therefore we will be able to tell her what you people have told us, and we have kept a record of those issues. So allow me next Monday to prosecute that case with the judiciary, and I'm sure we'll make progress. But at the local level, we also request you to convene the court users forum so that you can have a discussion. Again, the DCI officer said that it's important in the multi-sectoral approach of the multi-agency, you also involve officers of the public health and the probation officers so that you can be able to make more and better informed decisions. The DCC MESO was in my constituency, and I trust you are doing a good job because right now there is nobody to deploy in politics. When you are there, you people are just doing politics, and you know. You had no time to deal with what we are dealing with. You have raised an issue of the assurance. The CS Interior is here. I'm here, I'm Deputy President. I don't think I'm out of my mind. Professor Kindiki is out of his mind. The IG is out of his mind. We were in Nyeri, we spent a day. We were in Nakuru, we spent a day. We are here, we have spent a day. We are headed to Coast, we are for a day to Western. That tells you the commitment at the highest level of government on this matter. I therefore want to announce today, for the avoidance of doubt, in this fight and in all other fights to eradicate crime within your respective jurisdiction, you are more than protected. There will be no calls from anybody. And if there are calls, just ignore them. President William Ruto will not call you. I will not call you. Professor Kindiki will not call you. IG Kome will not call you. If the four of us do not call, ignore all the other calls and refer to the four. Tumekubaliana? Hakuna mtu atakupigia simu. I want to assure you, if we call, we'll be telling you you are not doing enough, can you do more? The cause will be to encourage you to do more or to challenge you why you are not doing enough. I want to confirm in this matter, it has been discussed at the National Security Council, the highest security organ of the Republic, and this war has been declared. And if anybody calls you at the region, at the county, find a way of reaching us with the professor and tell us. Huyu atakuwa amekupigia simu, huyu ndio ataenda nyumbani. Atatuambia anapiga simu kama yeye ako na kiganda yake ya breweries. Ama yeye ni anko wa mama fulani. Please, don't be intimidated. You have our express authority to do what you must do within the provisions of the law. Again, the DCC has raised the issue of lawsuits and legal aid. I think Professor has made himself very clear. In pursuit of your lawful duties within the laws of the land, if you get in trouble and you are taken to court, the state will provide a state counsel to defend you. So just work within the law and in accordance with the law. Take time, again, to refresh yourselves on the various laws that govern your work. The Penal Code, Cap 63, nenda usome. The Criminal Procedure Code, Cap 75, kwenda usome. The Evidence Act, Cap 80, kwenda usome. And then the Constitution of Kenya. With those 4 documents, the Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya will allocate a state counsel and to defend you in all stages of the criminal justice system. But acquaint yourself with these 4 laws so that you are on the right side of the law. Again, KRI has spoken very well, RISPA. We have asked you with Moses Kuria, from here, proceed to Naivasha, go and sit down with the finance committee chaired by KK. We'll call him, he'll have instructions, we'll agree, recommend immediately for inclusion in the finance bill all the measures you think will help to deal with ethanol and to deal with the second generation alcohol, and will persuade Parliament to pass the amendments because all members of the National Assembly are on board. You have heard the way Rendekire is speaking here with a lot of pain. All of us here have lost people. I lost 2 brothers to alcohol. Hakuna mtu hajaumia. So there is nobody who is not a player in this thing. So go and do those ones and then we'll be fine. RISPA again, if you find officers escorting contraband goods, look for Professor Kindiki, look for Molo. If you can't get the 2, mostly Kindiki in the West Pokot in other areas, tafuta Omolo huyu, ukimukosa unitafute. Hao officer tutabidana na hawa, pomana na hawa. Please, never suffer in silence again. If you hear officers are escorting, atu wengine mbele, wengine nyuma, tafuta sisi watatu. Please. Again, you have said 6237 are non-compliant. I have called a meeting, we have agreed with the professor on Wednesday morning. You will come with the other agencies, Moses Kuria. There is an agency that was approved by the National Security Council. We need to agree on a few things. I don't want to announce here. Wasiende mbele yetu. Jua hii watu ni wajaji. Najua wanatusikia kwa hii uringa. Na nyinyi watu ya press msiambie hii watu vile tunasema. Wacha we will agree. That's a small thing. Again, nobody RISPA will threaten your people. Threatening a public officer is a crime in itself. And it should be reported. And it will be investigated. An action will be taken. And they'll have a day in court. So don't worry about that one. I agree we should have called the forest people here because of the plantations of bangi within the forest. We will do that in the next meeting, but I will bring to the attention of the Conservator of Forest about this particular matter that has been raised, and we'll want some action. But bangi planted outside the forest, the chief, the assistant chiefs know. Hata usiwezi anajua. That one you deal with it. That one you need no other help. You know. Hakuna usiwezi ajui na hakuna chief ajui. Chief anajua, hakuna kitu ajui. Aloko chief. Hata mtu akipiga bibi yake anajua. Hata wale wamekula nyama, he knows. Hakuna kitu ajui. So then involvement of all leaders, the members of parliament. What I encourage county commissioners and the county governors is you now convene another forum at the county of the security team, the governor, the leaders, and now have a very detailed discussion with details and insights, provided that the officers there keep confidentiality of the source of information. Because in a place like Marsabit, those militias that escort illegal contraband are dangerous people. So when leaders give you that information, and probably the anchors to the people, then we have a problem. confidentiality, that when leaders give you information, it is treated with utmost confidentiality so that leaders can be encouraged to give you information. Again, the issue of schools, CS Machogu was supposed to be here. I agree. We need to bring the schools on board. We want to encourage the Inspector General of Police to increase and enhance the dog section so that we can have more sniffer dogs, not just at the region, but at the counties. These sniffer dogs can assist having sporadic visits to the schools to sniff around. We did that in a school in my former constituency called Kajori, and we got a lot of drugs. The next time we sent them at random, there was nothing. So if you said random 3, 4, 5 times, watawachana na hiyo maneno. So I think we'll discuss with Professor I.G. Kome, how do we enhance our dog section to give it more capacity at the county level so that the county commanders can assist the schools the day of opening and in between, before, after midterm, and sporadic checks so that the canteen and the cooks do not sneak in drugs. And you know, protection and deterrence is the most effective way to control crime. You don't have to wait until the crime has happened. Random checks of drugs in schools will deal with the problem and it will go away within a short time. Again, the county commander, I think Meru, he was very candid. I want to thank you, my brother, for that admission. That is true. I didn't want to talk about it so that you don't think I'm too rough on you. It is true we have a serious addiction within the National Police Service. It is true we have had many suicides arising out of addiction and depression. It is true officers have shot each other because of addiction and depression. We need, as a force, to deal with it. And one of the ways is that admission by the county commander, so that those officers who are past being stopped and have become patients can be rehabilitated. Again, as I said, a police division is as good as a division commander. A station as good as a station commander. Nyinyi wenyewe mkikataa ulevi kwa officers itakuwa sawa. But you'll find the sergeant major at the armory is issuing arms and ammunition pale jioni to officers who are staggering. Na hako pale wanapewa bunduki waende beat, waende patrol, na mwingine anaanguka hapo akichukua bunduki. It's the level of responsibility among the NCOs and the officers. Let's all be good people and let's be responsible to the positions that we have been given. And I think the way the county commander has spoken, be accountable. And I'm so happy with that statement. Be accountable for the actions of the people under you. And I'm sure the way he has said, the regional commander will take action. And we said we encourage the IG to the regional commanders to be able to do transfers within the region and to discipline decisively within the region so that we can make faster progress. The OCS Lare amesema hiyo tumedeal naye. True, juvenile cells waheshimiwa, tunauliza nyinyi, mko na pesa ya security kidogo, tembeeni kwa police station, musaidie kuweka juvenile cells. Even the cells try to improve them. And I want to advise you why. One of these days you are likely to be a customer in the same very cells. Ana mimi iko cell nilikuwa nimefungiwa pale Gigiri. Nataka nikipata kama milioni 1 niende niitengeneze. So, lakini nipanga hapo nikawekwa ile akina mama wakawaachiliwa ndio nikae peke yangu. So those cells, most of them, police stations were built during the colonial time. They have not seen a coat of paint for 40 years. Unakuta pale OCS ile furniture amekalia iko na shimo, ameweka karibu pilo 3, there is still a hole. Si iko namna hiyo OCS? I want to encourage members of the National Assembly, let us support our officers, let us try to rehabilitate these police stations. The cells, we try to do it. The drainage system, give it a coat of paint. Mtafute furniture kidogo. You assist these members of the National Police Service so that we also dignify the offices ambaye wanafanyia kazi. Again, intimidation from the political side, hakuna mtu. Nimemwambia wacha wale wengine, hawa wetu wa Kenya kwanza. If they call you ati anakuambia atakupiga transfer, it's just a threat. You'll go nowhere. Akikupigia kuambia utaenda transfer, mwambie ongea na Professor Kidiki. Hiyo simu atakata na hiyo maneno itaisha. Don't be intimidated. Hakuna mtu, I don't think any politician can influence PS Omolo or Kindiki or IG Kome. We know some politicians are a bit overbearing and they can threaten you and throw their weight around. You are protected. And if you feel a certain politician has intimidated you, do a confidential letter through your county commander, iende kwa IG, and copy to CS Interior. It will be dealt with. Don't be intimidated by anybody. Again, of course, the ACC, governor nilikuwa nimeongea. Licensing everywhere, and Muthomi Njoki, governor wetu asante sana. Kawira wetu, fuatilia. Follow the same in Meru. Call a meeting with our officers and review. They'll help you to review. Call what your public health. And dealing with those licenses is very easy. Very few can meet the conditions. There is a way of dealing with those licenses in a review because very few can meet the conditions ambayo inatakikana. Mkiambia weke tiles kwa choo ya vijiji na weke ile choo ya maji na septic tank na nini, anainua mkono, hiyo bao nafunga. There is a legal way of doing it. You don't even have to, hata kuna mtu anaweza hata kukupeleka kotini. Public health officer wako atakusaidia, andikiwe do A, B, C, D, weka tiles kwa floor. Choo, weka ile ya maji. Septic tank, tunataka kuona. Nini, vitu kama 20. Anainua mko? Mimi nachanua nyinyi mtaniliva. Government chemist, I think, is something, Prof, you'll have to look at. This matter has come up in every forum. The threshold for illicit alcohol is based on a report from the government chemist. We are centered in Nairobi. By the time sample inafika Nairobi, it has gone some chemical reaction. It cannot even be ascertained what it was. I think, Prof, you can consider, we can help you at the National Treasury. At least we devolve this function, at least at the regional level. And I'm sure the governors will be willing to give us space in the general hospitals, and then we can create the equipment and personnel. I think, Susan, is something we can work around. We can work around that one. I think that's about it. Mimi nataka niseme asante kwa kutusikiza. Pole kama tulitumia lugha ambayo haifai, mtusamehe. We are just being truthful. You know, I'm called the truthful man. Hii maneno ya ukweli ndio imenifikisha hapa. Mimi ni mtu ya kusema ukweli. Na sitaki ile nimekuambia inaweza fanyika ifanyike kwako. So it's good to tell you raw what can happen. Ukinyemelea mali ya wenyewe, utapata shida. Shida kubwa. Najua hapa kikwetu kwa mlima profesa anajua. There are only two things that are not forgivable and cannot be discussed. Kunyemelea mali ya mwenyewe ama shamba ya mwenyewe. Mambo ngapi? Hii ingine yote tunazungumza tunakubaliana. No problem. Those two. It's a no-go zone. So me, I'm grateful. Officers, shall we do what we need to do? How many days we do a review? 10? Tumekubaliana? Mumetupatia ruhusa wale ambaye watalemewa katikati tuwapangie vile wataenda kupumzika. Tumekubaliana? Wani mumenyamaza? This is a meeting of consensus. I wanted us to agree. As we will do what we need to do. Even that ethanol on our side, we are going to deal with it. Iyo maneno ya border, unakuta pahali kama Loitoktok, polisi wametoa police station, town, wamepeleka mpaka border kwa sababu ndio iko chakula na mchuzi. Wametoka town, wameenda kwa border. The border is far away from town. The police division is in huko kwa border, ndio kwa sababu hapo ndio iko chakula ya haraka. So we'll deal with ours. Professor here and our team will deal with ours with the IG Come. Please do yours. You are equal to the task. You are qualified for the jobs you are appointed for. You are energetic. You are healthy. You are trained. You have everything you need. Where you have a shortage, governors are here. National government is there. Tutasaidiana. Mimi nimeshukuru sana. I've also enjoyed my stay for the last 5 days in this region. Before I head to Nairobi, tutarudi tena hapa na rais on Friday hapa Meru kwa mambo ya maziwa. Ningetaka kushauri tu wale security committee ya Meru, tukifika saa 4 na rais, hiyo mkutano ikuwe na walevi, mnaweza pata shida kidogo. So please take care. I'm just namuibia tu siri kwa sababu tulienda Nyandarua saa 4 tukakuta walevi, ndio pahali hii vita ilianza. The boss was very annoyed and extremely embarrassed. At 10 a.m., half the crowd was drunk. So as we come to Meru on Friday, watu ya Meru mfanya kazi, ndio msipatikane kama ile UCS hapa nimepata walevi wananisimamisha karibu na gonga na gari. Sababu inaweza haribu kazi na tutaki hii kazi iharibike. Dabwen, hii maneno yote ulisomea wapi? How did you learn all these things? I think you need to come and tell us. Hiyo maneno umetuambia mpaka tumeshangaa. Si hata nyinyi mmeshangaa? Yeah, use this of leaders, what we are able. Call the Bwen for an informal discussion to give you a few tips here and there about what is happening so that it can enrich your decision-making process. Otherwise, on behalf of President William Ruto and the government of the Republic of Kenya, we want to thank the 90% of you who are doing a good job. We want to encourage the 10% who have not been doing a good job to pull up their socks and measure up to their expectation. For all those who traveled all the way from Marsabit, we wish you journey masses. Wale walitoka Isiolo, walidia rais tulikuwa huko mambo ya drugs, I'm sure you'll do what you need to do. Wale wa Embu mkienda msalimiane, wale wa hapa Tharaka Nithi na gavana, na wale wa Meru tumeshukuru sana kwa hii kikao and giving us your ears and talking to us. And this is the way our new government is working. It is called the management style of continuous engagement. We are not bosses, we are team leaders, and we don't know everything. Our new style of governance is talking to the people we work with. We would have done it the way it was being done before. Mutumiwe sigino, muambiwe umalize pombe ama mfutwe. But we are calling you so that we talk together because we are leaders, and it helps when we discuss together. I'm sorry if we have been too harsh on you. Forgive us. It's only we are under pressure from the community because of the possibility of losing an entire generation as president who cannot accept to lead a drunken nation. That is the pressure myself and Professor Kindiki and Omolo are under. The boss is on us. He cannot accept to lead people who are drunk. Sisi tumesema hata kama hii pombe itatuletea shida, afadhali tuende nyumbani kuliko kuongoza walevi. Because sasa wewe kiongozi wa walevi, wewe ni kiongozi ya saa ngapi? IG alitupatia story Nyeri, kila mtu akamwonea huruma. Alienda nyumbani, IG, Inspector General of Police. Watu wamelala kwa barabara. There are two choices. Awakanyange, ama ashuke, awaondoe, apite. The Inspector General kwao nyumbani hapo nje. Nani OCS ya IG nyumbani? Wewe umeangusha mkubwa yako. Sasa wewe si utafutie heshima. Please. Sasa kaa chini akauliza huyo mlevi, wewe si pombe itamaliza hii maini yako? Mlevi akamwambia wachana na mimi, wewe chukua maini ndio pombe iteremuke vizuri bila shida. Can you imagine? IG of police. Sasa watu ya Tharaka Nithi. CS Interior anatoka hapa. Sasa kadhoana kwao nyumbani. Nimeona imesomwa hapa. Nani OCS ya Kadhwana? Nani OCS ya Kadhwana? Nani OCS na cover Kadhwana? Where is that OCS? Coverage ya nini na mkutano yuko hapa? Tuko na security ya kutosha hapa. No wonder there is a problem in Kadhwana. Where do you hospital? Sasa si utafutie hii mtu yangu heshima nyumbani. Please. Msiaibishe Professor Kidiki. How do you now, the Minister of Security, kwao nyumbani ndio pombe na bangi imejaa?
I will make sure everything is done as it's required.
Please, umechelewa kidogo lakini fanya bidii. Nani komanda ya IG Kome? Nani komanda? Bas, si umtafutie heshima. Haya, komanda yetu ya jeshi anatoka pale mbele. Nani komanda yake? Hawame komanda anatoka pale. Haya, tafutia general heshima. Utamtafutia? Mtafutia heshima. Nani OCS ya Attorney General? Pale Kanyambora? Kanyambora na? Sasa ona. The whole government belongs here. Mumetutia aibu. Mimi mwenyewe ni mtoto ya hii mlima, mniweka aibu. Tutafutieni heshima. Mtatafutia? At least tuende nyumbani na heshima. Sasa tukienda nyumbani tunakuta kila mtu ni mlevi. Na sisi ati ndio serikali tunatembea na madege na mabendera. Sasa sisi ni bure. We look useless and helpless because people are asking, kama watu kwa deputy president hapo nje wote ni walevi, how will he help this country? Kama Kadhwana kwa interior security ndio bombe iko, kwa IG nyumbani, kwa general wetu wa army, kwa attorney general nyumbani, hata watu wananchi ndio wanatudharau. Sema hii watu tu wanaongea kwa TV, wao ni kuongea tu. Haona sasa hapo kwa nje. Hata hii magavana muwatafutie heshima. Hapo kwa gavana nje pombe, bangi. Hao wa MP tutafutie ni heshima hata sisi. Tunaomba nyinyi kwa heshima. With those very many remarks, may God bless you and bless you abundantly. Asanteni sana.